Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I tell you what, it has been a very interesting ride over the past couple weeks. Bugs, exploits, glitches, bugs, and patches on introducing more bugs. I'm telling you guys, it's been a wild ride. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Let's go ahead and get on into it. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm going to be your host for today, Johnny Mac. And for those of you that are returning subscribers, as always, welcome back. So today we are going to be going over the New World Update patch 1.05. And as the thumbnail suggests, there have been some major issues that have been going on over the past couple of weeks. We just went through what I would consider the great economy collapse of 2021 in New World. For those of you that didn't know, the trading post was disabled for a little over 2 days due to a gold duplicating glitch that was being exploited and taken advantage of by various members of the community, several of which pretty high profile characters, but we shall not name names. Now, what's interesting is everybody thought that the developers of New World were not going to take action, but rest assured that the ban hammers have come down. There are many a forum that are abuzz with the news that people are being banned left and right, and the developers put out news via the official forums that they have in fact put in place several different, I guess you would say, fail safes or triggers to basically flag players who are, duplicating gold. So I would say it's pretty safe to say that, yeah, if you all of a sudden are, have 5K normally, and then all of a sudden, you got 20K, you're probably going to get flagged. So this also ties directly into what I'm about to tell you about the coin sellers. So let's go ahead and get on to the patch notes themselves. So greetings adventurers, this week's update introduces more general changes and bug fixes. We'd like to thank you for your patience as our team continues to work on resolving issues and for your continued reports on our official forums. You can find a full list of changes and fixes below. General, and this is the first one we are going to be talking about, the coin sellers, as I had mentioned before. We know many of you have seen the pesky chat messages from players spamming messages, and we're continuing to investigate solutions to this issue. We discovered that many coin sellers were creating new characters and transferring money to other accounts. To combat this, we've done the following: banned and suspended many of the reported accounts. Thank you for your reports for players spamming chat. Added restrictions to prevent player-to-player trading and currency transfer from characters under level 10 or whose account is less than 72 hours old. Logging in after your account is 72 hours old will enable your ability to trade and transfer currency once you've hit level 10. So this is pretty good. It keeps anybody from just creating a character and just sending a bunch of money to it. And this also is a countermeasure against those who were duplicating currency and duplicating items, because in order to circumvent, their ability to get caught, I guess, they thought that they would just create duplicate characters, on their account or whatever, and yada yada. I don't know. Pretty silly. But anyway, redistributed coin value from some early quests to later in the main story quest line, keeping the total amounts of coin earned the same, just delivered in quest slightly later. So basically what this means, guys, is that you're going to start off dirt poor for the first few levels. As if you weren't poor enough in the beginning, you're going to be more poor now. And also, trading post usage will be restricted until new characters accept the introduction to trading post quest in their first settlement. We will monitor the impact this has on bots and the health of the game and continue to adjust as necessary. And let's go ahead and get into the exploits. Fix the bug where players were able to duplicate items via storage sheds and crafting stations. We fixed the issue of gold duplication on territory projects we introduced by disabling trading and made sure it would not occur in the future should we need to disable trading again. I certainly hope to God that never happens again. I'm telling you guys, that was a long 2 days, especially for me, because I do a lot of trading on the trading post. as well as many others do as well. And like I said, I lovingly called it the market crash of New World for 2021. Pretty crazy stuff, guys. Pretty crazy stuff. Combat changes. Life Staff Orb of Protection. This is a big one for all you healers out there. I know that some were calling for this to made a change, and probably some of you may not like it. I don't know. Remove the small area of effect that were triggering on pass-through from every hit of the base version of Orb of Protection. AoE no longer triggers on pass-through from the Aegis upgrade. It will only trigger on impact against an enemy or object now. Reduced attribute respec coin cost by 60%. This one is huge. I personally felt that the cost to respec was way entirely too high. It really kind of restricted you and prevented you from trying out and testing new builds. With them reducing the attribute respec cost by that much, I'm actually really surprised they made it that much. It really opens things up for especially new players. You know, as a new player, you're coming in, if you haven't really done any research and you just want to experience the game for yourself and kind of test things out, it kind of prevented you from being able to do so before. Now, you can kind of do it without having to fear of spending a massive amount of coin in order to respec, right? The other one is reduced weapon mastery respec. Azoth cost by 75%. Wow, 75%, guys. That is huge. And once again, I know that this is a big one for me because I like to kind of tinker around and see what works best with my particular playstyle. Not everybody plays the game the same way. Not everybody uses the weapons the same way. You know, it's kind of like how one person's aim might be better than another person's aim. So this was a personal huge thing, because I personally use a lot of Azoth because I have different resources located in different cities and I tend to teleport around a lot. So this makes Azoth management a little bit better. Reduced coin cost of chisels by 20 to 50% depending on their tier. Yet once again, this is another thing. This is what you use to make your tuning orbs. Very kind of, you know, a real well needed change in my opinion. I felt like the cost was a little bit too steep before. This brings it a little bit more down in line. To encourage competition and outpost rush, we've slightly reduced the coin and Azoth rewards for the losing team. From what I understand, there was a lot of people that were just going in, getting queued up and starting, and then bailing because the rewards were the same for losing as they were for winning. Not fun for anybody, right? We have surfaced the war conflict progress bars on the map and the faction board when there is an upcoming invasion, as you can still gain war conflict for your faction. Identical weapon equipping. Players can no longer equip the same weapon type in both weapon slots. We want each weapon slot to have a different weapon type to open up combat diversity. This change also addresses issues which could occur when swapping between weapons of the same type. Now, what they're talking about here is, I do believe the fire staff glitch, where if you switched from one fire staff to the other, you could use your rapid movement. I can't remember what that is actually called, but I call it the fireball of doom because all I hear is and then next thing I know I die in PvP. It's not fun. But anyway, so yeah, switching between those, you could really have a massive advantage as far as movement goes. Not very fun, so that is a thing of the past. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Group scaling passives. This is the huge one that everybody has been looking forward to. Group scaling passives fixed an issue which could cause passive effects that scaled on the number of nearby foes, such as Bloodlust for the Great Axe, Against All Odds for the Hatchet. I know everybody's been hating on the Hatchet here lately. And Outnumbered for the Warhammer to apply incorrectly. So basically, for those of you that aren't aware, the Hatchet has received a lot of hatred here over the past few days because Against All Odds increases your damage based off the number of enemies that are around you. The problem is that when those enemies go away, that buff is supposed to go away as well. However, it wasn't doing so. That buff was actually staying in place and it just kept stacking and stacking and stacking. And I do believe the numbers were reported to be up around 300% extra damage or something. And in some wars, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I haven't personally seen the footage, but supposedly some Hatchet users were actually smacking people for like 2k per light attack, which is absolutely insane. There's no one that's going to survive that. But yeah, so it's fixed, guys. It's fixed. Pretty awesome. So now everybody can stop hating on the Hatchet and, you know, Now, for those of us Hazard users such as myself, we don't have to be called exploiters, which I felt was kind of silly to begin with because I wasn't even aware that it was a thing. But, you know, once I became aware that it was a thing, I was like, oh, well, yeah, you know, that kind of makes sense. I kind of see that now. But, you know, it is what it is. But it's fixed. So, yay. Spell strike consistency. Fixed issues which cause several magic spells, such as Ice Storm and Gravity Well, to not hit consistently. I personally have experienced this with both Gravity Well and Ice Storm. Very, very, very annoying. Now it's fixed. Thank God. Because you would really lose out on, especially with Ice Storm, you would lose out on a lot of potential DPS if it did not hit the way it was supposed to due to terrain or collision boxes or whatever. I don't know. Pretty annoying. Resilient item perk. Fixed an issue that caused this perk to reduce all damage instead of just damage from critical hits. That was kind of a big issue. So yeah, I'm glad they fixed that. PvP flagging. Fixed an issue that allowed PvP and PvE players to heal each other. That's a huge issue. I personally have experienced that. Very, very annoying. I, you know, should have actually had the upper hand in a PvP one-on-one type of situation. And yeah, the person was actually getting healed externally by someone who was not flagged for PvP. Not too fun for me. I ended up getting my face ripped off. Wasn't very fun. Next, we're going to hit Outpost Rush. Fixed an issue that was allowing players to get out of the starting fort before the match starts. You know, this was allowing them to rush capture points long before the other team. Pretty annoying, giving them an unfair advantage. That's fixed. Squashed. We now prevent multiple players from interacting with the altar in Outpost Rush. This will prevent players from getting multiple summon tokens per 500 Azoth. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused the nameplates of summoned allies to appear hostile. Fixed an issue that was causing Battle Bread, the food buff at Outpost Rush, to be twice as effective as intended. Updated the tooltip for Battle Bread and Monster Slayer's Stew to properly describe the buffs they provided. Fixed an issue that could cause players to become stuck in a teleport loop if they teleported out of Outpost Rush while using Unstuck. That's a pretty conditional one, but yeah, I could see where that would be a huge issue. There's been a huge number here, as you can see, pretty big chunk of general bug fixes. We're not going to go over all of those. However, I will hit this one, speculative fixes. The fixes listed below are tentative fixes and mitigations. Our goal is to get these changes out and see if the issues persist, so we can continue to work on them and address in future update if necessary. Implemented a change to help us dig into the timed out while waiting for server to describe, butcher of words here, issue, and added a fix to reduce occurrences of this issue while we continue to investigate. So, you know, this is one of those, we're going to make a change and we're going to see if it actually works. Report back later. So yeah, I will have a link to this patch, like official patch notes, down in the description if you guys want to read the general bug fixes, or if you just want to go over any more of these patch notes for yourself. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what all has been happening. Overall, my impression on this patch is that it is a well needed one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you might want to do so, as well as hit the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, but here's the main reason why. I have a video coming up that pertains to a particular post for some upcoming changes, guys. There are some changes that the developers are proposing to PvP as well as the PvE content in the game. In particular, how they plan on making one particular change to the PvP flag in the game that is going to produce a very interesting effect for everyone in PvE. So if you guys want to hear about that video, smash the like button on this one and also hit that subscribe button. I will be putting this video out most likely this weekend, so be sure to stay tuned. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys feel about this patch. Do you think that it's a step in the right direction? Are you still really on the fence about the game? Do you really think it's still a dumpster fire, or do you think it's really starting to pull its head out of the sand and get going in the right direction? Let me know what you guys think. As always, guys, I'll see you in the new world.